This is your service for soil and soul this Sunday. Welcoming this new day, this opportunity to pause, this opportunity to come together for the service for soil and soul this Sunday. Whenever you hear this, whether it's today, tonight, or months from now, these words are meant for you. If they've arrived into your awareness, you were meant to hear them. I'm Rev Ems. I'm one of the founder members of Creative Roots Ministry. Creative Roots is an intentional ministry. We're not religious. We are about belief systems, and we know what we believe builds our world. We know that life can happen and does happen, but it never happens to us by chance. We never need to be victims of circumstance. We know that we were born to be more than we ever have been before. Thoughts are personal prayers. They can promote fear, doubt, or worry, blame or shame, but do not be discouraged, because your mind may appear as a minefield of memories. But thankfully, it has been proven over and over again that each and every one of us can take back our mind and return to a state of being, no longer caught up in the drama, and overcome the obstacles to walking in right way. Now, life happens through us, and when we utilize the universal laws and live by universal law, the constant, unchanging order which our world lives by. And it started, as Carl Jung shared, by making the darkness light. We've managed to come together right here and right now and shine a light in the darkness. And it supports not only you, but everyone around us. We return to this moment and return to the soil and soul of our own lives. Because in this right here, right now moment is the gift of our present. All of you are welcome here. Your cries, your laughter, your pain and sadness, however you show up today, we welcome you. We accept you right now and appreciate you as you are. Exactly as you are. We're currently experiencing a transition from the old ways of being into the new ways. So we're moving from survival and battling to get our basic needs met and rushing nowhere to get nowhere fast. And we live in a society, many of us live in a society where we can feel disempowered. But we're moving into this newer, truer way of living, where we get to recognize where we grow from. And we return to the soil of our own lives, remembering our relationship with life. And life is all around us, which is our environment. So look around you, and using your mind's eye. What is it that you see? Good morning, Sean. What is in your lived experience which no longer serves? What is it that holds you back? Or with belief systems, or as I say, your BS, which are reinforcing the story of your life, the story of not good enough. It never happens to me. I mustn't deserve anything better. Do you think that you want some change, but don't feel confident enough to do something about it? Are you thinking you're going to make a change for the new year? Are you waiting for the right relationship to come and save you? Do you think it's going to cost you to get better or to make a change, and you feel maybe you can't afford it? And do you feel that there's just not enough time? No matter what happens, there is not enough time. Have you been praying for a solution, asking God, why me? Are you looking for a sign from the universe to say things are going to be all right? Because I dropped into your life today to say this is a sign. You do not need to wait. You do not need anyone or anything to make it better. You do not need anything more than you already have. You can start right here, right now, and today. And you can start for free. It's not going to cost you absolutely anything whatsoever. And life does and will start getting easier. I don't offer a short-term solution. This is your invitation for a better life. This path is not perfect, and it doesn't require perfection. It requires you to show up. It requires you to set an intention for change. It requires you to take small, realistic, manageable steps that become a practice, not a perfect, because this way you will and can and do change your life one thought at a time. I promise you, what you put in, you will get out. What you put into your practice, it returns to you exponentially and in ways that might seem unimaginable right now. So I ask you to trust and take this next brave step and invest, not in me, but in yourself. There's a load of self-help and all sorts of things out there saying, give me your money. No, I'm not saying give me your money. I'm saying invest in yourself. Take your time for you. Make your time for you, because you matter. By utilizing your time and your mental space, you can join me today and set an intention and hold that intention for change. Here's a simple practice to take a moment to pause and be still. Take a breath with me, please. And simply return now to the breath, being aware that you're breathing. You don't need to force it. Just allow the breath to breathe you. Notice the slight temperature change in your mouth or your nose as you inhale and exhale. You'll notice there's a natural pause between the in-breath and the out-breath as the breath rises and falls away like waves on the ocean of awareness. Be aware of the body consort. The chest or belly may move. And as that wave of breath breathes through you, recognize how in just these few minutes you're feeling so much calmer and more peaceful than you were when we began. This short practice is for changing, and it's that simple. It's so easy, so accessible. You can do it at any time. You can be sat on a bus, sat on the toilet, cooking your food. And it can be especially beneficial as you wake up in the morning and about to start your day, or maybe as you're settling down and going to sleep. You see, the body consort is often a state of apprehension. It's waiting for the what next. And as a result of that anxiety of, oh no, what's going to happen next, which is the perceived fear that something might occur, it's keeping us holding on just in case. And it's a natural way of making it through the day. It's survival. And you'll notice there's a lot of things which grab your attention. As social media scrolls by, as the television promotes the belief there's something missing and there's something that should be different from how it is. And there's a huge blame culture that goes on where rather than take responsibility for themselves, there are stories that go on where they're pushing blame and shame onto anything different because they want you to believe that it's your fault and they don't want to take responsibility for themselves. I'm sure, you know, these stories are creating and reinforcing belief systems that create divides in society and within ourselves. And I'm sure you remember a time then rather when rather than own up to something, a mistake, you blame someone or something else to avoid the consequences of your actions. Well, it still plays out today in very visible places. Bon dia, good morning, Raphael. And when we avoid the consequences of our actions, you know, we miss learning the lesson, we miss the gift of the moment. And there's people out there in the world that we think are very responsible. We've been told they're very responsible people, they're in positions of power, but they act anything but responsible. In the UK, you've got Keir Starmer. He's a human rights lawyer. And he supports arming Israel, or the Israeli government. And he allowed flights across Gaza. And he sees and knows way more than social media tells us. And he stands by as the Filton 24 are on hunger strike. And they've been on remand way longer than law allows. And people are just standing by and turning a blind eye. They're not acting responsible. They're not taking responsibility for their own actions. They're just pretending it doesn't happen. And as innocent people are arrested as terrorists in many places, the UK, the USA, because they stand in solidarity with Palestinian action, or Palestine and Sudan, mainly Palestine at the moment. There's people that are showing, like, his name's Sammy Handy, the comedian. He was doing a tour in America and he got pulled by ICE and ended up being sent to prison for what? For telling people they needed to put America first instead of Israel. You know, it's ridiculous. But again, it's ways of trying to quiet people up so that they can just go on about the day without contemplating about taking responsibility for their actions and what they've put out into the world. And these are just two little examples. And it's clear when we see the news, there is nothing new about the news. It's the same old rubbish. It promotes fear and propaganda. You see, where we place our attention is our choice. We can place our attention on what we do not want, like perceived war and conflict and pain and suffering and racism and discrimination. Or we can choose the other side, like what's going on in the world that's good, what's going on out there where people are standing in solidarity, where is the balance returning to things that have been long out of balance. So I'm inviting you all not to ignore world issues or local issues, but I'm inviting you to consider, where is your attention? Where is your focus? Because where your attention goes is where energy flows. Or put differently, what you feel affects how you heal. And notice when I talked about Keir Starmer or Trump and the actions, you maybe noticed a difference, a sensation in your body. Maybe you noticed that you contracted, maybe it tightened, maybe you felt uneasy. You might have recognized memories arising and thoughts. You may notice that you feel numb. Good morning, hybrid wolf. And when this happens, notice that however that you feel, it's perfectly okay to feel how you do. Being able to recognize changes in your body, changes in your thought, brings you back from the outside world of appearances home to yourself. It brings you back. Raising your self-awareness puts you in the driving seat. And it's from the driving seat you can regain your power. Like I said earlier, it's about investing your time and awareness. It's not about money. You don't have to pay for change. You don't have to be anything other than what you are. You can start wherever you are, whether it's ground zero. But by recognizing the times in your mind that maybe you're getting carried off down rabbit holes or got lost in thought. Maybe you was on a Netflix binge, or you was doing some gaming and realized, oh man, I've just lost half the day, or it's morning already. And time does vanish, or seemingly so, as you scroll and do things to disassociate from the world around you. But now is different, because today, you, just by listening and being present with me today, are raising your self-awareness. It's a bit like the Matrix. Do you want the red pill or the blue pill? You know? The connection between the mind and the body and what happens in your environment becomes more and more noticeable. And it's you that's in charge. And from creating the space in your awareness, you expand your awareness to understand your awareness of self. And that's exciting stuff. This is your key. It's the key that opens the door to empowerment. You can now be in the driver's seat. And even if you just sit there, just sit and take it all in this new space of awareness, and see, where is your power coming from and where's it going to? And only when you work out your controls can you set off on your journey. So it's important to take that time to just pause, to take in what is what, you know. And if you feel overwhelmed, it's okay. You're only human. It's perfectly normal to feel overwhelmed. Good morning, Voice for the Voiceless. What a beautiful name. Beautiful. So, Voice for the Voiceless, it's about taking back our power and being able to, even being voiceless, recognize where the power lies. It's in our minds. It doesn't cost anything other than time and investing in ourselves. And as we raise our awareness, we recognize we've got more and more power, and we become more and more powerful, more and more in control of how life can be, what happens to us, and where and why and how. We can change our life. That's how I did it. I didn't do it through paying anyone. I did it from realizing where I was at, which was pretty much zero, And thinking, how can I take responsibility of myself today? I had to let go of everyone else's thoughts and feelings and what they told me, because what they told me was their BS, their belief systems. And their belief systems were holding me back, because we're told a lot of things that really can keep us caught up. So you can pretty much, get used to being in this new space of awareness. And it can take a while to get comfortable. But in time, you do get comfortable, and you can pretty much run without having to take yourself through the motions, right? So, when you run or walk, you don't have to think, pick up this foot. But, when I had a stroke, I had to remember to move my arm, to move my foot, to move my fingers, and every little thing took so much thought. But eventually, my brain rewired and it made those new pathways. So I was able to just move my fingers or move my arm or move my leg. And you can too. And it's not about age, because neurons wire together when they fire together, no matter how old you are. So that's marvelous news for everyone, because through practice, not perfect, through practice, through making mistakes, through screwing up, through trying again, we get to build a new life. We get to build these new pathways and make a difference to ourselves in our life. It's like learning to walk again. It's like learning to ride a bike. You're learning a new thing. And you can make mistakes, because a mistake is an opportunity to try again, or forget trying, just go again. Because what do? We wake up in the morning and everything is really trying. And if you're showing up today and you're breathing and you're listening to this, then you're showing up in the world, and it's beautiful. So well done. And I'm celebrating that. So when things go perceivably wrong, we've learned what we don't like anymore, and we get the opportunity, the chance to do something a bit differently. We recognize that we are in control. It's my mind. Your mind is your mind. And there's only ever you in your mind. Now, you may have replayed memories. I had CPTSD. I had all sorts of people's voices in my head, but they were just memories replaying. That is not you. It's just voices of the past. And with time and practice, they do go. You can recover from incredible things. But it's your mind. And when you recognize it's your mind, then you are in control. And as you come to mind your mind, you're more mindful of what comes and goes in it, and what comes and goes in your outside world. You recognize it's your body consort is your internal environment. And like a plant, you respond to your environment. Good morning, Carlos. And your body, like a plant, responds to the environment. Big Love's voice for the voiceless. The words came at the right time. They always do. Divine timing always. There are no coincidences. If your environment is peaceful, you are more at ease. If your environment is busy, you may feel rushed. If your environment is cluttered or disorganized, you too may feel cluttered or disorganized. And if your environment has conflict in it, you may feel threatened. And with this, I bring to mind a practice, because my house, my space used to be big time cluttered, and I couldn't cope. I was overwhelmed. I looked around me. I didn't want to get dressed, and I looked around me and I'd see the mess. Good life and see you later. Hugs, Carlos. I'd see the mess around me, and I was taught the 5-minute plan. And it basically means we look at whatever's within. We take 5 minutes of our day to take 5 things, out of our current environment and put it somewhere safe or more suitable. And eventually, it's a practice, where we're sat and we clear that space and we think, oh, wow, that's clear and that's helpful. And we eventually get motivated to clear a lot more. But it's realistic. It's about being realistic. It's about managing what we can manage. It's accepting we are where we are and not giving ourselves a hard time, because sometimes it is hard to get up in the morning. Sometimes it is hard to make it through another day. And this is what's part of being human. And the more we mind our mind, the more we're able to take our power back from all the things we was trying to please, and come back to ourselves and come back to our home in our heart, where we can hold ourselves and it never costs us anything. And so within your body consort, so without. In other words, the world you experience around you and is also experienced in you and through you. So by taking control and coming home to yourself, starting at 0 right here, right now, today, you get to choose what grows. You get to choose what comes and goes. And as you do, your life changes. Changing slowly. There is highs, there is lows. That's life's rhythm. Universal law is life has a rhythm. And there's times when things get challenging, and there is times where things feel too easy. The difference is you are in control, and the world you now experience is happening at your pace. You're taking responsibility, which means the little changes that you make, that you practiced at your own pace, they do make big, massive, long-term differences in your life. This isn't McDonald's. This isn't a takeaway. You can't just come, go, and it's gone. Short-term solutions. Nah. We want long-term things that last. We want to change our life for the better, not have this temporary high, because temporary highs get temporary lows. And, it's really good to aim for balance. Find a middle ground. You get to welcome the life that you want. You get to show up in a way only you can. You get to grow up in a way that serves not just you, but your entire world, And it starts here, through making a choice to change and holding the intention to change your relationship to yourself. There is coming and a big change in my life, and I'm afraid of it. Do you know? You are so brave to share that today, because there are things that happen in the world and we never know what's coming. We like to think we do, because it creates that feeling of safety, and it can be scary thinking there's something coming and I don't know. Even when you want the change, it's scary because you don't know what's going to happen next. At times like this, we come back to ourselves like we did earlier in the video, and we just take a pause. We're like, okay, so something's coming. Whatever it is that's coming, it's coming. What can I do right now, right here, in this moment, to change how I could see this, or how I'm going to accept this coming? A really good practice is the Ho'oponopono. I have used that myself many times. I do. And I think something's happening. I'm going to clean on what's not happened yet to make the something that's coming move smoother and with ease. And that's an affirmation. This will go smoothly and with ease. My life will go smoothly and with ease. And I affirm that by saying that sentence to myself. I can be going down the road and heading towards somewhere where there's usually traffic, and I'll say, my life moves smoothly and with ease. My life moves smoothly and with ease. And then there won't be the traffic, And if there's big things happening in life, some big challenging circumstances that's coming up, I'll do the Ho'oponopono the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is, I love you, I am sorry, please forgive me, I thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you. Now, when we say that, those 4 words, those 4 prayers, the 4 affirmations, we're talking to ourselves. We're not talking to out there, we're talking to in here. We're talking to that vulnerable self that we've all got, that vulnerable part of ourselves. And we're saying, you know, I love you. I am sorry that we don't know what's going to happen. And I forgive you for being so anxious, and because we never know what's going to happen. We never know what's going to happen in the future. And I thank you for raising it into my awareness so I get to clean on it, so that when it comes, I'm in a better state of mind to manage the change. And I'm just over and over and over, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you. And this does help. It does help. I've got some other videos on there if you subscribe or whatever, so you know how to get back to this channel. What you'll be able to do is go to the Ho'oponopono section, and I'll talk you through little Ho'oponopono practices that will help with that. I am also available if you want to contact me through Facebook, you know, no worries. So you're starting here, you're starting now, you're starting at 0, and I am cheering you on. I am proud of you, and I know you've got this, you know, right here, right now, today. It doesn't cost you anything to make this, you know, this change, and this change changes everything. It's awesome. So it does start here, through making a choice to change, holding the intention for change, to change your relationship to yourself, to change your relationship to those around you, and to change your relationship with your world. The affirmation for this week is, I am in the driving seat. And each time you recognize that you feel uneasy, maybe you notice you were caught up in thought, some anxiety about what's not here yet, and say to yourself, it's okay. I am in the driving seat. It's then you can reclaim your power. Your lived experience can be more. It can be more than survival, more than just existing. And no matter what happens, how you receive it matters. How you perceive it matters. And remember, you are right here, right now. And right here in this space and place, the time is now. And it's from this here and now moment that you can affirm, I am in the driver's seat. And it's here from this realization you can remind yourself, in the gift of this present moment, that you have the power. You can choose to pause. You can choose to breathe. You can choose to take action, to do something or nothing. But give yourself space. And it's from this space, whether it's a minute, 10 seconds, half an hour, doesn't matter, as long as you're giving yourself space to pause, and then you move on with your day. You can move on in a more aware way, in a way that really serves you. And with the practice to pause, with the affirmations, with the key to your new expanded awareness, you're in the driving seat. You're going to go on to grow and do great things, incredible things, tending to the soil of your life. You expand and evolve. You get to find your own rhythm. You get to find your rest and sowing your own seeds, and of enjoying the garden that you grow, and of harvesting the seeds that you sow. So let's pray to the presence within our awareness, the presence that's never an absence, the space and the place where time stands still, that nothingness that always comes from no thing, there always gifts something. And I'm speaking these words on behalf of each and every one of us today. I am so grateful for this here and now moment, for this possibility which presented here today, for this opportunity to stop being subject to the place and the space I exist in, and instead get to make space and place subject to my way of thinking. And from this space and place of gratitude, I recognize I get to sow the seeds where my environment empowers me. I recognize I get to choose how my garden grows. What, when, and how I respond to the weather of my life, I recognize I get to bloom and I get to enjoy creating the garden of my life. I realize that life is always working for me, making more space and time, sharing its abundance through my awareness, composting what it needs to go, to fertilize what needs to stay and grow. So I may continue to grow and expand, becoming a beautiful garden, blooming with love, life, and laughter as I move forward. And for this, I am so thankful. I am thankful that I can release what no longer serves as I weed my garden. As I release these words, knowing that the universe always answers in all ways, always, and makes it so. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Aho. It's been a great honour to pray with you and to speak these words for you. So thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for contributing to life, for gifting yourself with the time and space that you needed to come and join us today and recharge and remember who and what you are. Because you are an incredibly intelligent being and the world needs you to be you in a way that only you can. There's only one of you on the entire planet. And it's only through diversity our gardens truly grow. The world is a polyculture. So many different things, sowing, growing, and evolving. It takes a community to build one. So if today's service served you in any way, take a moment, please, to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free. Join us on Facebook and Instagram. And it'll help you find us. If you want to share, share. Help others to reconnect and remember the truth of who and what they are. And help people to remember it's our thoughts that bring us the healing. And if you feel called to support the ministry, we accept people coming to help here. Your donations and love offerings are welcomed, multiplied and circulated as you support us to continue building creative roots, creating services for you, our global community. And we reach people and remind people of the possibilities available to them. So thank you. Thank you for every way you support us, because your presence does matter more than you know. So now it's time for this week's blessing. May all beings recover their peace of mind. May all beings recall their power. May all beings return to safety. May all beings remember they're in the driving seat. And may all beings be free. Thank you so, so much. Namaste. Same time next week, people. Have an awesome week. Much love.